I hate, wow, man. Thank you. I hate to break up good conversation with all the back row Baptists back there that have lined up in the back of the room. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to welcome you to another academic year. I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to say it right now. We're going to provide a proper welcome for the rest of what I call my pledge class, all of the rest of the new folks who are here today. So if my colleagues will join me up here, and we are going to welcome each new person within the departments. And I'm going to ask, because it's a lot, for you to please hold your applause until everyone's been recognized. When your name is called, if you would please stand so we can see you. And then once we've introduced everyone who is new, we'll have our applause together, and then I will come and enlighten you with my thoughts for the day.
Good morning. All right, so we're going to start with the Division of Academic Affairs. Sorry, our podium is small. So first from the Office of Academic Affairs, we have Dr. Mark Laughlin. Mark has been at GSW for 18 years. He's most recently held the position of Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences before transitioning to the Office of Academic Affairs on July 1st. He is now the Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. David Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins has been at GSW for 25 years. He's served as the Director of FYE and Student Success until July 1st, when he became the Assistant Vice President for Student Success, and he will focus on first-year students as well as transitions such as sophomore experience, transfer students, and online students. Dominique Solomon. Dominique is currently a student at GSW. He will be graduating this fall with his bachelor's in computer science degree. George shared with me yesterday that Dominique is very talented. In his first month, he has already improved workflow in a couple of institutional research projects. We're very lucky to have him in the office since July 15. Courtney Ellis. Oh, you made it. Courtney is here. So she currently serves as the Assistant Director of First Year Experience and Student Success, but she will be transitioning to the Assistant Director of the President Jimmy Carter Leadership Program on September 1. Cassidy Ware. Cassidy is a biology pre-vet major at GSW, and she serves as the coordinator of the President Jimmy Carter Leadership Program. She is scheduled to graduate in December, and she has transitioned to this position August 1st. From the College of Arts and Sciences, first, Dr. Paul Dahlgren. Dr. Dahlgren has been at GSW for 16 years. He has stepped in as interim dean of the College of Arts and Sciences effective July 1st. He was previously associate dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and director of Hale. Dr. Baker Gia. Dr. Gia is an assistant professor of chemistry. He holds a PhD in chemistry from Rice University and has previously held positions at Gordon State College and Missouri Southern State University. Dr. Michael Lewis, or we might say Mike Lewis. So if you ever email, it's mike.lewis, or you're going to be emailing Chief. Just a little note. So be very careful. So Dr. Lewis joins the college as an assistant professor of English. He holds a PhD in English from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. He has previously held positions at Western Connecticut State University and Georgia State University Perimeter College. Dr. Bryce Barney. Dr. Barney joins the college as an assistant professor of geology. Dr. Barney comes to us from Texas A&M University, where he completed his PhD in geology in May 2026. Dr. Jared Register. Dr. Register joins the college as an assistant professor of music. He holds a Doctor of Musical Arts in Choral Music Education and Conducting from the University of Georgia. He comes to GSW from the Savannah Arts Academy for Visual and Performing Arts, where he served as the Director of Choral Activities. Marnie Minnick. Marnie has worked at GSW for 11 years. She served as the administrative assistant for the Departments of Music, Communication, and Emerging Media and Visual Arts before transitioning this summer to the Department of History and Political Science. Tiffany Mathis. Tiffany joins us after having worked at the Department of Family and Children's Services in Americus. She recently completed an Associate of Business Logistics Management at Albany Technical College and has 11 years experience in office management. And next, the College of Business and Computing. Dr. Sherry Shen joins COBAC as an assistant professor of management. She recently earned her Doctor of Business Administration in Management from the University of South Florida. With more than 20 years of leadership experience in global technology organizations, Dr. Shen brings expertise in strategic management, organizational behavior, leadership, and organizational agility, combining real-world business experience with a passion for student-centered learning. Outside the classroom, she enjoys building collaborative partnerships and exploring innovative approaches to leadership and organizational development. Dr. Jisoo Sun joins COBAC as an assistant professor of economics. She earned her PhD in economics from Auburn University, where she taught principles of microeconomics and macroeconomics while developing expertise in applied macroeconomics, forecasting, time series analysis, and financial economics. Her research has been published in leading finance journals and focuses on the application of economic analysis to financial markets and banking. Before her academic career, Dr. Sun worked in both government policy research and financial derivatives industry in South Korea, bringing valuable real-world experience into the classroom. Outside of teaching and research, she enjoys exploring how economics can improve decision-making in everyday life and following global economic trends and financial markets. Dr. Cynthia Tettleton. Dr. Tettleton joins COBAC as a lecturer of accounting. She earned her PhD from North Central University and is both a certified public accountant and a certified government financial manager. Dr. Tettleton brings extensive experience in higher education and federal financial management, including service with the U.S. Government Accountability Office, where she led research teams and developed professional training in auditing, financial management, and leadership. Most recently, she taught accounting at Athens Technical College, where she established the college's first accounting internship partnership to strengthen student career readiness. Outside of teaching, she enjoys mentoring students and building partnerships that connect classroom learning with professional practice. Next, we have the College of Education. First, we have Jessica Woodard. Jessica comes to us from the GSW College of Education pre-K program, where she has served as a pre-K lead teacher since 2006. She completed her EDS degree in elementary education this summer and is now a double cane. She will be a lecturer of elementary education and serve as the pre-K director. Dr. Deborah Posner. Dr. Posner joins the college as a lecturer of teacher education. She holds a Doctor of Education from Argosy University and an MBA from the University of Central Florida. Dr. Posner has served as a district level and higher education administrator and has taught math and STEM courses at various K-12 and higher education institutions for over 25 years. She comes to us from the Ravenscroft School in North Carolina, where she served as an upper school innovation lab coordinator, engineering teacher, and robotics team head coach. Susan Huey. Susan joins the College of Education as the Director of Field and Clinical Experiences after 27 years of teaching in elementary education. Most recently, she was at Twin Oaks Elementary School in Lee County. She has a bachelor's degree in elementary education from Georgetown College and a master's in language and literacy from the University of South Carolina. Presley Owen. Presley is an America's native who joined the College of Education in November of 2025. She previously served as the digital content manager at WALB. She graduated from the University of Georgia in 2024 with a bachelor's degree in journalism and a minor in media and design. She serves as the administrative assistant to the dean and the College of Education certification official. Monica Grant. Monica joins the GSW Pre-K as a lead teacher, bringing with her a strong connection to the institution as a 3-time graduate of Georgia Southwestern State University. She comes to the COE after teaching in the classroom for 5 years in both Pulaski and Lee counties. Monica returns to campus with a passion for early childhood education and a commitment to nurturing and inspiring our youngest learners. Gabby Harris. Gabrielle Harris joins the Pre-K as a lead teacher, bringing her educational journey to full circle. A 2026 graduate of Georgia Southwestern and a former GSW Pre-K student herself, Gabby first walked these halls as a 4-year-old. She is excited to begin her teaching career in the very classrooms where her love of learning first began, inspiring the next generation of young learners. And Gabby and Monica are not here. They're with a meet and greet with the families for the Pre-K. The College of Nursing and Health Sciences, Sierra Johnson. Dr. Johnson joined the faculty at GSW in January of 2026 as an assistant professor of graduate nursing in the Family Nurse Practitioner Program. She earned a Doctor of Nursing Practice from Samford University, Master of Science in Nursing from South University, Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Western Governors University, Associate of Science in Registered Nursing from Southern Regional Technical College, and a Practical Nursing Diploma from Columbus Technical College. She has been a nurse for over a decade and a board-certified family nurse practitioner since 2018, providing care to diverse and complex patient populations across a variety of healthcare settings. Her professional interests include student mentorship, simulation-based learning, clinical education, and innovative teaching strategies that promote student success. And now the James Earl Carter Library. Jimmy Moore. The library is proud to introduce Jimmy Moore, Digital Archives Assistant. Jimmy is a native of Sumter County, alumni of GSW, a graduate from the History and Political Science Department. He brings a love of history and storytelling and can't wait to tell your story through the digital archives. John Wilson said, "Contribute now." The Registrar's Office. CJ Newberry. CJ graduated from GSW in 2024 and then joined the university as an admissions counselor before moving to the office of the registrar earlier this year. He's proud to continue supporting students in his new role. Crystal Cheek. Crystal is a Georgia Southwestern State University alumna. She earned both her BBA and MBA at GSW. She brings 15 years of experience in education, followed by work with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and Transportation in program analysis, technology, grants, and process improvement. First year experience in student success, Griffin Johnson. Griffin joined the Department of First Year Experience in Student Success in March 2026 as the Academic and Student Success Coordinator. Griffin holds a bachelor's degree in history from the University of Georgia and a master's degree in higher education administration from Georgia Southern University. Prior to joining FYE, Griffin worked in the registrar's office. Aaron Pinkard. Aaron joined, go ahead, you can clap. Aaron joined FYE in March 2026 as the dual enrollment and student success coordinator. Aaron holds a bachelor's degree in exercise science from GSW and is currently pursuing his master's in business administration. Alicia Pinkney. Alicia joined the Department of First Year Experience in Student Success in November 2025 as the Student Retention and CRM Support Coordinator. She holds a bachelor's degree in information technology and a master's degree in computer science, both from GSW. Alicia came to us from South Georgia Technical College. And I think that is all from the Division of Academic Affairs, but I do want to introduce the next individual from the Division of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. So first is Jonathan Scott. Jonathan has been at GSW for almost 22 years. He currently serves as the Director of Recruitment and Admissions and has been doing that, but as of July 1, he added a position, and he is also the Interim Executive Director of Enrollment Management.
All right, so in enrollment management, we have just a few new hires since last year. So in the Office of Recruitment and Admissions, we have Emily Jimenez. She is coming to us from Georgia Southwestern. She graduated just this last spring with a BBA in management. We also have Donovan Smalley. Donovan has been with us since late August of last year, so almost a full year, but was not here by this event last year. He has also a GSW graduate with a degree in dramatic arts, and he is in the position of admissions specialist. And we have a new position in the Office of Recruitment and Admissions that I'm really excited about, Millie Velasquez. She is our new graduate assistant for social media, recently from GSW with a degree in marketing. And in the Office of Financial Aid, we have one new addition, Aisha Adams. She has been with us since December. She is a financial aid specialist, and she is a graduate of Fort Valley State University with a degree in management. All right, next up, after me, we have Krista Faison, who is our Director of Residential and Campus Life, and like me, she is also in an interim position. She is the Interim Executive Director for Student Affairs. Krista.
The pages didn't get flipped. I'm just going to look at the board. Okay, that's me. Next. Okay, so we have Brianna Berry. She is the Executive Assistant of Student Affairs. She came from Sul Ross, Texas, and she joined us just short of a month ago. We have Miss Joyce Carter. Miss Joyce, yay! She comes from the Department of Family and Children's Services. She joined us at the end of spring, and although she came during the summer, it did not slow her down. And Andrea will tell you that she's been working all summer to get the best resources and access for our students. The case manager position is new, so we're really excited to have that to help support student support at GSW. You may know him as Coach Trey. He has been seen with rackets on the tennis ball court and also on the sideline at basketball. Thank you for standing. He has joined us as the coordinator of fitness and wellness. Kristen France, her face looks familiar as well. She just recently was promoted to the position of Assistant Director of Recreation and Wellness after a very successful 3 years at GSW. Alex Aspidia, you also recognize him. He was in the executive assistant position. He is now in our student activities position, and he wants you to know he has over 17 large-scale events within the next 2 weeks, so send your students. Trinity Daniels McNear. Where's she at? There she is. Trinity graduated in May from GSW. She was an art major, and she is now a coordinator in residence life, overseeing our upperclassmen students in Magnolia and Pines. And now for the Division of Business and Finance.
Good morning. We have quite a few new hires since last year in the Division of Business and Finance. We'll start with student accounts. Edith Acevedo Cordero. She is our customer service and data entry specialist. She's here. And Tiandra Stanford is now our student accounts coordinator. In auxiliary services, we have Lexi Deloach, Director of Auxiliary Services. And Malika Jones, Assistant Director of Auxiliary Services. In purchasing, no stranger to GSW, Michelle Underwood has rejoined us as Interim Director of Purchasing. Quite a few in physical plant, so hold on here. Philip Giddens, Painter. Calvin Mathis, painter. Garrett Payne, painter. Greg Schatzman, carpenter. Janice Heel, custodian. Cheryl Blue, custodian team lead for the evening shift. Jarvis Williams, custodian team lead for the day shift. Elaine Hicks, custodian. Floyd Allen, utility custodian. Danielle Russell, custodial services manager. And Benny Taylor, utility custodian. And for public safety, we have Christian Stewart, police officer. And now I will turn it over to Mr. Joshua Gilman for IT. Thank you.
Hello. So we have two new hires in the IT department. We have Charles Hyatt. He is our IT and telecommunications help desk coordinator. He is a recent graduate of the computer science program. And then we have, then we have Sophia Newcomb. She is our data analyst / IT programmer, and she transferred from the Department of Institutional Research. And I'd like to invite Stephen Snyder.
Thank you, Josh. We have two new hires in the Division of Advancement. The first one is Lisa Courtney, who joins us as the Advancement Services Manager, and she was most recently with Georgia Department of Family and Children's Services, and she's been with us since February, I believe. And we also have Emily Crenshaw, who is she's our new content writer, and she has been with us since July 1st, so he's part of that pledge class that Dr. Palmer referenced earlier, and she just graduated with her second degree in communications and media in May. So.
Good morning. For the Department of Athletics, we have several new hires, and if I could get to the first up, we have Ben Hicks, Senior Associate Director of Athletics. Ben joined us back in March. Most recently, he was the Director of Athletics at Chattahoochee Valley over in Phoenix City. Next, we have head men's soccer coach Bailey Guffin. Bailey joined us from Sul Ross State, where he was the head coach, and Bailey's been here since March. We have assistant men's soccer coach Ryan Seiden. Ryan also comes from Sul Ross State in Alpine, Texas, and he just started this week. Assistant women's soccer coach Kayan Fernander. Kayan joins us from Florida International University, and he's been here since January of 26. Our new head women's tennis coach, Coach Carl Willis. Carl joins us from Southland Academy, where he served as many roles, one of them being the tennis coach out there at Southland as well. Our new head women's basketball coach, Coach James Frey. James joins us from the University of Memphis in Memphis, Tennessee. He also served 11 years as the head women's basketball coach at South Georgia Technical College, right down the road. His assistant coach, Shaylin Smith. Shaylin joins us from New Mexico State University, where she served as a graduate assistant. A new position in athletics, our new, and for the first time, head strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Logan Gibson. Logan joins us from the University of Detroit at Mercy. And then we have several graduate assistants for the Department of Athletics this year in internal operations. Former GSW three-year letter winner in softball, Rebecca Hazard. Rebecca will be in graduate school, and she'll be in the internal ops. And then our graduate assistant in strength and conditioning, Trey White. Trey joins us from Virginia, and he just started this week as well. And I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Palmer now. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for all of our newest team members. Well, once again, I want to thank you for being here today. It's truly an honor to stand before you as we open a new academic year. I always find the first day of school, the first day of a new academic year to be exciting. But as you may imagine, for me and for my family this year, it's especially exciting. I feel privileged to be a part of what I think is something very special here. One of our faculty yesterday in the meet and greet that we had in the Wheatley Administration Building said, "We have a gym here." And I do believe that. I look forward very much to working with each of you in the coming years to polish this gym and make it shine and make sure people know it's available to them. Because in some ways, I think it's the best kept secret in this state. My goal this morning is not to present to you some cataclysmic evolution of a vision for GSW's future. Nothing's been handed down to me in stone tablets. I have no crystal ball. What I do have is a dedicated team of professionals, that's everybody in this room, who love this place and who want to see it succeed. And that's what attracted me to this position. And together we will craft a vision, and together we will put that vision into practice. What I'd rather do this morning is help you know a little bit more about your new president, the experiences that have shaped me, and my attitude toward educational leadership. Then I'll spend the rest of the year getting to know you. This is important, I think, because it will truly take a partnership to move this institution forward in this fast-changing, increasingly complex world that is higher education in the 21st century. 30 years ago, on this very day, My wife and I were attending new faculty orientation at Turner County High School in Ashburn, Georgia. I'd been hired to direct the middle and high school bands at Turner County. My wife was the general music and choir teacher for that same school. We taught grades 6 through 12. We worked together in the same building each day with a couple hundred teenagers, and we somehow managed to stay married. We were both fresh out of college with all of the immaturity and naivete and idealism that comes with being young, and we were, quite frankly, ready to change the world. We were 4 hours from home, and we were experiencing the culture shock of moving from a city that we had grown up with about 250,000 people into a small farming community in South Georgia with about 3,000 people. It was quite an experience. We stayed in Georgia that 1 year. Incidentally, that's probably why I'm still married. But I spent the next 11 years teaching blue-collar students in a large urban junior high school, small-town students in a rural East Alabama community, a majority African-American high school band that I directed in a school of about 1,200 students in grades 10 through 12. Finally, I had the privilege of starting a band program from scratch, building something where before there had been nothing, and watching students discover that they were capable of more than they thought, and establishing traditions that are still going strong at that school. Then I went to the dark side. In 2008, I became founding principal of a middle school at Trinity School in Montgomery, a very fine and very pricey private school. 5 years later, I was appointed head of that school, which was a transformational opportunity that gave me some CEO experience that's serving me well as I transition into this role. I earned my PhD at Auburn and then found my way into higher education back home, where I got my degree originally at Troy University as the Dean of the College of Education, and then I was dragged kicking and screaming, quite frankly, into the provost's office, and now by some miracle I find myself here as your president. To say the least, this is not where I thought I would be 30 years ago when I attended that orientation at Turner County High School. I tell you that story not because it's unusual. Everybody in this room has a story. Many of you have stories that are similar to that one. But I hope it illustrates for you the lens that I bring to this office. It's not the lens of having been in higher education my entire career. It's the lens in having been in a variety of situations, some good, some not so good. I've spent a large portion of my career on what you might call the front lines, the teaching and student-facing side of this work, and significantly, especially in that private school, the parent-facing side of this work. I know what it is to stand in front of a classroom and wonder if what I'm doing matters. I know what it's like to work with students who have too much parental involvement and some who've had no parental involvement at all. I know what it is to feel elated at the success of students who many thought could not succeed, and I know what it is to throw my hands in the air at the end of a tough day and say there simply must be a better way to make a living than this. I've helped console students and parents when tragedy has visited our school. I've worked with the haves and the have-nots. I've worked in beautiful new facilities and in Depression-era pneumonia traps. All of that essentially has made me who I am, and that will not change just because my title has changed. A presidential leadership transition, and you've had a couple of those in recent years, and I'm very mindful of that. A presidential leadership transition cannot help but be disruptive, no matter how much we want it not to be. But a new presidency does not have to mean a complete reset. Georgia Southwestern does not need to start over today. You've built something very special here. Traditions, relationships, good numbers that have gotten the attention of the university system. I know because I had orientation last week and heard about your good numbers. A way of doing things that works, and I have no desire to dismantle that. My job in these early months is to understand it, to honor it, to add to it, but not to replace it. I have studied carefully the strategic plan to which so many of you contributed, and I've worked to digest the master facilities plan that's almost ready to share. I've been engaged deeply with the Foundation Board as we prepare to roll out the public phase of what is already a very successful capital campaign. My intention is to put into place and implement each of these initiatives. We have a good track record, we have a good blueprint, and now we're going to execute. I want to thank President Johnston, whose leadership contributed to where we stand today and whose partnership in this transition has made my arrival far smoother than it typically is. I would also like to thank Dr. Weaver for his leadership prior to Dr. Johnston's arrival. I hope to build on the foundation both of these presidents laid with the same level of care that they brought to the job. And if you'll have me, I hope to dedicate the final decade or perhaps a bit more of my career to this amazing place and the important work that we have before us. I also want to thank Chancellor Perdue and the Board of Regents for the confidence they've placed in me, and the Cabinet and GSUN for their patience and understanding as I've come up to speed. I want to thank the many GSW alumni and the people of Americus and surrounding region for the incredibly warm welcome to the community, and our hardworking staff for keeping the engines running each and every day. And I want to thank all of you, our faculty, our coaches, for being the very backbone of Georgia Southwestern and for taking that role seriously. At the end of the day, nothing we do is more important than the interaction that takes place inside a learning environment between a faculty and a student. That connection, that moment, is the reason we exist, and all of the rest of us are here to facilitate that and make sure that it happens. In the short time I've been here, I've already started to see what makes this place distinctive. I think it's something we should be proud of. Georgia Southwestern is not a smaller version of a larger idea. It is its own idea, and it is a very good idea, and it is a much needed idea in this day and time. We're a regional public university, and we should be proud of that. At a time when institutions like ours are too often discussed in terms of the pressures they face, enrollment, funding, competition, I want us to talk instead about what we can offer that many larger institutions can't. Faculty who know their students by name. Advisors who notice when a student's struggling, maybe even before the student realizes it. A campus small enough that no one has to disappear into it. That closeness is not a limitation of our size. It is the value proposition. Students come here and they are known. They are known in the classroom, in the residence halls, in the offices, where staff members quietly do the work that keeps this place humming every day. For a great many of our students, first-generation students, Pell recipients, students from Americus and the surrounding counties, adult students juggling work, family, and their studies, students who might not otherwise picture themselves finishing a college degree, being known is the difference between finishing and not finishing. And finishing college with a degree in hand, especially when you're the very first in your family to do so, is transformational. What we do doesn't just change individual lives, it alters the very trajectory of family trees. What we do matters. It matters deeply, and it's worthy of our very best effort every single day. When it comes right down to it, GSW delivers. Just listen to the accomplishments we have accumulated over this past year. Our IT and MSN programs hold prestigious ABET and CCNE accreditation. Faculty in these programs have just completed self-studies that will lead to reaffirmation, ensuring that despite our size, our quality is top-notch. COBAC students placed 4th out of 25 USG teams in the inaugural USG Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition held at Kennesaw State University in April. GSW earned national recognition for delivering exceptional value in graduate education, and that is more important today than ever. Research Ed named our online Master of Science and Computer Science program the most affordable in the nation. MBAgradschool.com named our online MBA the most affordable in the nation. COBAC students represented GSW at the 2026 SAM Conference and competition, placing third out of 20 institutions from across the country. Our history department created a new Southern Studies track that promises to be an enlightening and instructive addition to our programmatic offerings. Mobile glass was identified as one of the most positive influences on glassblowing in the last 10 years. Health sciences students participated in service learning through Give the Kids a World, an organization providing meaningful experiences to children with terminal illness. The university system approved GSW for a new MAT program, paving the way for our College of Education to better meet the needs of our region. GSW received an A+ rating from the National Council for Teacher Quality. GSW was one of only 5 institutions in Georgia to attain this distinction. Our enrollment continues to trend upward, although as expected, it's leveling out some. As of this morning, we're up 1.7% overall in headcount. Our graduate enrollment is up 27.3%. That's remarkable. That's unbelievable. I say that from a school that has not seen that. Clearly, and this is very important, we are delivering when it comes to adult learners. Now we just need to attract and keep as many traditional students as we can. On this day last year, we enrolled a total of 3,897 students. This morning, we have enrolled 3,963. So kudos to everyone who has contributed to this momentum. Kudos. I come from a very similar, break away from my script for just a second. I come from a very similar institution. Troy University is bigger than GSW. It's in a city the same size as Americus. It's in a county the same size as Sumter County. And in the entire 7.5 years that I worked there, I did not see a single semester of enrollment growth. Not one. Not one. Yeah. Don't applaud that they haven't, but I will tell you the fact that you have. I'm going to go back and tell. Renovations to our library, and I've seen them, spectacular, were completed last October, and the facility is both beautiful and practical. This is exciting. Full funding for our new science building has been approved. Absolutely. Folks, when I told my chancellor at Troy University that you can go to the university system and you can go to the regents for an academic building, and if you can convince them of the need, they'll pay for it, they drop their teeth. It's unheard of in the state of Alabama. You can't build one of those buildings unless you can raise the money yourself. And so that's huge for us. We're going to break ground in the coming weeks. We expect to open that facility in January of 2028. That's a reasonable amount of time we think we can get the students into the classrooms. Our master plan, our master facility site plan will be finalized in the coming weeks. I can't wait to share that with you. I can't wait to put it into place. Our accounting services professionals in this room today were recognized as one of only 8 institutions across the university system to receive the Certificate of Excellence in Accounting from the USG, marking the 3rd consecutive year we've received this honor, and we've won that award. We've got that every year since they created it. This is huge. We distributed more than $2 million to deserving students through over 1,500 scholarships this past year. 41 new endowed funds were created to support new scholarships. Our endowment grew by 17% and now stands at over $40 million. And total giving to this institution has increased by 92%. That tells me that people believe in what we do and they're willing to put their money behind that. GSW received the Peach Belt Conference Campus Spirit and Engagement Award, recognizing the student, faculty, and staff support of our annual Under the Lights event. GSW faculty, staff, and students participated in the 3rd annual Blitz House Build event, building a house this past spring for a deserving family in partnership with South Georgia Tech and Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. Our men's golf team advanced to the NCAA National Tournament for the 7th consecutive year. GSW won a record 4th consecutive President's Cup Award for academic excellence in the Peach Belt Conference. and GSW finished 7th in the nation in documented community service hours amongst all NCAA Division II institutions. And importantly, GSW student athletes had an overall GPA above 3.0 for the 24th consecutive semester. As you can see here, the state of this university has never been stronger. Georgia Southwestern is woven into the very fabric of this region. Our health and success is essential to the health and success of Americus, of Southwest Georgia, in ways that go well beyond the borders of this campus. We have a responsibility to our community, and it's a responsibility that I wholeheartedly embrace. Our partnership with Phoebe Sumter Medical Center is a fine example of this. In the coming days, we'll be signing a transformational gift agreement with Phoebe that will allow us to enhance our nursing programs, start a respiratory therapy program, and deploy our nursing graduates into high-paying jobs right here in Southwest Georgia. Georgia Southwestern will take the national stage next week with the National First Ladies Day Commission when they host a luncheon here in our Griffin Bell Conference Center. GSW will now be the academic home of this commission, preserving the legacy of America's first ladies and honoring our very own Rosalind Carter for the example she set in that role. Descendants of President McKinley, Eisenhower, Truman, and Carter will join government and civic leaders to celebrate this partnership, and all eyes will be on our little corner of the world and the work we do here as we welcome those people here. Many institutions talk about making a difference. Clearly, Georgia Southwestern's actually doing it. So let me tell you what I plan to do next. I intend to spend my early months here listening. I'll be in your offices, your departments, your meetings. I'll hold town halls. I want to hear what's working. I want to hear what's not working, what you're proud of, what keeps you up at night. If there's one thing I've learned over these last 30 years, it's that the people closest to the work almost always understand it far better than the person in the president's office. And that's not just on day one, that's any day. My job is to listen well enough and long enough that whatever comes next is something we build together rather than something I hand down. That said, some things are fundamental. Some things are immutable. Some things should be top of mind day in and day out as we do this work. And here are a few that I believe deserve to be mentioned. Student success and completion. We must make sure that once a student chooses GSW and once we accept them, we do everything in our power to see them through to a degree. And incidentally, I will tell you, I don't think every student should be accepted. Some students aren't ready for a 4-year degree just yet. But when you do accept them, you have an obligation to see them through. So I would challenge our admission personnel. Let's have some rigor in the acceptance profile. Let's make sure we get students prepared for school. Because it's criminal to bring somebody into college and have them go into debt when they're not ready. But when they're here, I want us to do everything we can to keep them. The second is academic innovation. Academic innovation. We must recognize that in this day and time, change is the ever constant. If there's one thing you can count on, it's change. And if there's one thing you can count on, that change is going to happen, and it's going to happen fast, faster than ever before. It's the name of the game in higher education and will be for the foreseeable future. I want Georgia Southwestern to lead in that change. I don't want to sit back and wait and see what happens. Let's be innovative and let's be aggressive. There's a very big difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. I want us to play to win. I want us to be aggressive and innovative where we see we have an opportunity to do that. Regional workforce and community partnerships. Strengthening the ties between what we teach and what this region needs from its graduates is critically important. We're seeing that with our connection with Phoebe, but part of our responsibility in this region of the state is to make this region as strong and as healthy as we can possibly do that. Now, I will say this. Workforce development is the buzz right now. We hear about it constantly. And this institution is doing workforce development better than most four-year institutions. Teacher education programs, accounting programs, nursing, et cetera. But I will say this to my colleagues within the academy who teach the classics. There are things that a person who has a four-year degree fundamentally ought to know and have been exposed to in their life. I don't think we should toss that out. I still think that when a person comes to college, and I had a conversation with many of you yesterday, they ought to learn how to write. And if that means we have to put blue books in the classroom and lock the doors and put their phones away, let's teach them how to write. And let's don't make an apology for it. If you truly want to send somebody into the workforce prepared, they need to be able to communicate with the written word. They need to be able to communicate with the spoken word. They need to be able to look somebody in the eye. That's something I've seen now the young folks have a hard time doing. So we've got to work on all of that. But I want my friends in arts and sciences and those fields to know, I believe in that. And I believe in our students being as well-rounded as possible when they graduate from this place. Let me close where I began, with gratitude. And I am sincere about this to every single one of you in this room. The faculty shape the minds of our students each day. I was very impressed and pleased to meet some professors who've been in this business for a long time and could be teaching 4,000 level and graduate level classes all the time, teaching freshman level courses. Faculty that are going to be the very, very best at what they do, meeting our brand new students and helping them to grow. Staff that work so hard to make this place work every day, thank you. Thank you for the welcome. Honest to goodness, it's the warmest welcome I've ever received any place I've ever gone. Thank you for the privilege of leading. I believe sincerely that the leader really only truly leads with the consent of the led. It's very much a partnership. If you guys decided, this executive team decided that they wanted to vote me off this island, they could probably do it. The leader leads with the consent of the led. And I am deeply appreciative of you giving me the opportunity to serve as your leader. I hope to do so for many years. My wife and I would like to make this our home and retire here. We want to stay, and we want to make a difference at this institution. But we only do that if it's a partnership. I spent a good bit of my career and a good bit of my life standing in front of a band or a choir or an orchestra. And if there's one thing that work taught me is that any organization, just like an ensemble, is never carried by just one person. Certainly the conductor selects the music, the conductor sets the tone, but more importantly than that, the conductor opens up a space within which the individual musicians in that ensemble play at their very best. The conductor takes each one of those individual musicians that can play on their own and do it well and molds them together into an ensemble that works toward a beautiful ideal and can execute on that together. And in really ways can become one as they do that. That's my philosophy of leadership. Peer out over the top of the trees, try to get an idea of what's coming, pull us all together and have a collective shared vision of how we may fit best and lead best in that environment and craft that beautiful ideal together. Thank you again. I'm honored to be your president, and let's continue to work together to keep building something special here. Thank you.